Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit that like and share button right about now. Enough is enough. Enough is enough of these witch hunt football players. It is an absolute disgrace that today we have seen Mason Greenwood's name trending for an article that simply cannot be related to him. There's one article that has created this absolute atrocious rumor to be created and catch fire today across social media for a young man's name to be defamed and slandered and lied about in such a disgusting manner is unbelievable. And when you read the article that this relates to, it cannot be Mason Greenwood. It cannot be him. Mathematics deny it. It's impossible for it to be Mason Greenwood. Ever since he made one mistake while on England duty, him and Phil Foden inviting a couple of young ladies back to their room, which, do you know what? Outside of the pandemic situation, it's just a standard thing. Probably happens all the time. It was silly. It was a mistake. But they're young men. He's 19 years old. He made a mistake. He should be allowed from that point to move on. But ever since then, the witch hunt has begun. And you as a fan, you as a consumer are partly responsible. Him taking hippie crack, him looking overweight, him being dropped. Twice he's not been in matchday squads. It's dropped. He's been late for training. He hasn't been turning up. He hasn't been doing X, hasn't been doing Y, hasn't been doing Z. He's let the fame go to his head. And now these disgusting allegations against him. And as I said before, and I'll say again, these allegations cannot be him. Read the goddamn article. The first line of the goddamn article says Premier League star in his 20s. Mason Greenwood's 19. How you can read Premier League star in his 20s and go, oh, it must have been Mason Greenwood. Can't you count? Can't you read? It's just staggering. This is Raheem Sterling 2.0. It's an absolute abomination. First and foremost, whoever this person is, innocent until proven guilty. Let's just wait for all the facts until they're condemned. Let's wait for maybe all the facts to come out even about the initial allegation before newspaper articles are printed about it. But to connect this to Mason Greenwood, for it to catch fire into a trend, absolutely outrageous. Outrageous that this is happening to another football player. And if you work alongside the mainstream media and you are not publicly outraged against this, if you work for The Sun, I don't care as a YouTuber, as a journalist, if you work for The Sun, the Daily Mail, or any subsidiaries of news, radio stations, TalkSport, etc., and you are not publicly condemning this, you are culpable. If you've got a social media platform and you're not publicly condemning this, you are partly culpable. Silence is part of the problem here. We have to stand up and defend these young football players. And do you know what? Not just football players. These young men in society who are society that are consistently being hung out to dry by lies, false information, propaganda, and bull-faced nonsense. The headline in the newspaper, the Daily Mail, that printed this article said Premier League star in his 20s. How on God's green earth can you equate that to Mason goddamn Greenwood? How? And do you know what it is? I'm not surprised by the media. Let the media do their thing. It's you, the fans. You, the fans, that make this catch fire by not doing 1 ounce of research. Read the article and go, oh, well, it can't be Mason. He's 19 years old. On we go. Just infuriates me the way we treat these footballers. When allegations were raised up against Callum Hudson-Odoi earlier on in the year, whoa, everyone's panicking, everyone's throwing their toys out the pram. Madness. Just wait for the facts. Don't condemn the woman. Don't condemn the man. Wait for the facts. Wait for the facts. You don't need to go all in. Same thing with Harry Maguire. People are so desperate for him to be guilty. So desperate for him to be guilty. I literally saw people come on social media again. So when are we allowed to start calling Harry Maguire a thug? He's been found guilty. Yeah. He's appealed it. So he's now innocent again. There's all these holes in the police case against him. Police ain't going to lie, bruv. Yo, we just spent the whole summer protesting the terrible behaviors of police officers all around the world. But suddenly, woo, they're the arbitrators and the bringers of gospel truth. Why? Because it suited your agenda to be against him. Suited your agenda. Raheem Sterling has suffered this nonsense for many, many years. We had Wayne Rooney before him. Family followed to a beach. Pictures taken of them. And they edited the pictures to a point where their arms are dangling. They tried to make them look like they were Neanderthals. Wayne Rooney had his phone hacked. Phone hacked. Not to mention what they did to David Beckham all those years ago. Goddamn newspaper gave fans the effigy. The fans put the effigy up of him being hung and then they took a picture of it and said, look what the fans did. It was the papers. Disgrace. Disgrace. But what normally happens is if it's a rival player, let's jump on it. It's a Chelsea player. Let's go get him. It's a United player. I'm going to defend him. It's a Liverpool player. Let's go get him. It's a Tottenham player. No, I'm not going to go after a Tottenham player. No, there must be a reason why this happened. Nah. Make a rod for your own backs every time, football fans. The way we treat these human beings is a disgrace. Because they got money. Because they got a little bit of money, they can take it. Hush your gums, bruv. Hush your gums and stop blaming the media. Blame you for clicking it. I blame you for believing it. I blame you for spreading it, bruv. Show no interest and it falls upon deaf ears. They stop writing about it. They actually, Simon Jordan called out a journalist live on TalkSport. So proud he did this on TalkSport. Where he basically got the journalist to admit that sometimes journalists will get a story and I'll go to the football club with it and be like, listen, I've got this story. It's going to be really damning for your star striker. He's been caught with 6 women at a party, naked, with a pig mask on, and he took something up the back passage. We've got photographs, we've got DNA evidence, we've got CCTV, and we're going to release it. Oh, no, don't release it. That's terrible. Oh, well, not only will we not release it, we'll bury it. In fact, we'll give it all to you. You can quash it forever if you give us a couple of exclusive interviews. That's what they do. And if the club says, no, we're not giving you the interviews, they release a story. And then they hide behind this nonsense of it's in the public interest to let you know that Lacazette grabbed a stripper's tit in a nightclub. Yeah, of course it is. Literally, I sleep better at night knowing that now. We needed to let you know that Raheem Sterling likes Capri Sun. And Raheem Sterling buys T-shirts from Primark. We think that's offensive because he has so much money. Why is he shopping? Why is he shopping where you, the dross, shop? He's offending you. Yeah, I sleep better knowing that, bruv. Absolutely better. Exclusive story. Wayne Rooney has cheated on his wife. Just let me... I don't care. I couldn't care less. No disrespect. Colleen, you're probably a beautiful lady. Probably got a lovely family. Doesn't affect my life. All I cared about when Rooney was a Man United player, that he was fit to put balls in the back of the net for my club. That's it. Do you know what I mean? He ain't my role model. He ain't my kid's role model. I'm my kid's role model. Just make sure they don't watch my YouTube channel. They might doubt what you're doing. It's just so frustrating. Every single year or every couple of years, there's a new player that the media go after again and again and again. And football fans predicate this. Football fans make this possible. Football fans make these kind of stories catch fire all the time. And until we start coming together as a fraternity and quashing this from day one, slamming it from day one, destroying it from day one, it will continue. And the Harry Maguire situation was the evidence of that for me, because I did feel that about 80% of football fans, because they don't like Maguire, were desperate for it to be true. Just desperate for it to be true. some of them comments I can't read. Going to take your calls on this right about now. Do me a big favor. Hit the like button, share button, retweet button as well. We've got to spread the truth here about Mason Greenwood. Not only has he not done these crimes, the age of the alleged perpetrator is older than him by at least 2 years. In his 20s suggests older than 20. So at least 21. Get your facts straight before you start chatting up that dog breath, man. Before that dog breath starts leaving your mouth, get your facts straight. Mugs. Absolute mugs. And trust me, it ain't going to be long until they come after our guy Marcus Rashford. You mark my words. They're going through his bins every day looking, bruv. They're trying to hack that. They're trying to hack that phone. They're trying to find friends from 20 years ago. Well, actually, I don't know how old he was 20 years ago. They're trying to find friends from 10 years ago for dirt on him. 110%. That's what they're seeking. 100%. These nasty people. Hit that like and share button, please, right about now. Sky plans are opening. We're here for you to call us, to have your say. Remember, tonight, 7 p.m., Box to Box Babes is back. Maya's hosting the show, so make sure you're tuning in. Oh, I'm angry. I've got to calm myself down a bit now. I'll calm myself down a little bit now. Going to get Elite KJ on the show in a few moments. Football fans should be ashamed of themselves. If Phil Jones got arrested, I'd protect him innocent until proven guilty, 100%. And that's the biggest problem. Like, we defend some and not others based on how popular they are. It's disgraceful. Elite KJ. Oh no, KJ was with us. He's gone again. I don't know. He might be coming back. We'll see in a few moments if we can get him back on. Sky plans are open. Give us a call right about now. Let's do some more of these comments. I've seen a lot of Greenwood's defense from many clubs. Good to see. Absolutely right that some are doing it, but it should be all. Every single fan channel, every single big Twitter account, every single personal social media. Defend. Elite KJ is now with us. Bro, give me your thoughts on this absolute nonsense story today about Mason Greenwood.
I'm here again. Why am I here again? I'm sick and tired of these pagans coming for our footballers, fam. I'm tired of it. How many times have I done this call, this kind of show with you in the last how many months?
Mad.
I'm sick of it. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of times. This has got to stop. I am sick of these pagans getting away with it. I've already said, if you work for these kind of newspapers that search for these things, I don't care why you're doing it. You're an op. I don't care. I've already said it. You're an op. You guys need to get got. Like, literally. And all these fans, yeah, that hoping it's true. For what reason? Why?
Mate,
why do you want it to be true?
110.
Why do you, like, also, I want to say this before we continue. Do you know how I already know it's not even a black player who's done this?
Why?
Because if it was a black player, they would have said who it was by now.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I mean,
if it was a black player, they would have outed it, named it, saying this player has been accused of said thing. I have a feeling that it's not a black player, and that's why it's all under wraps. That's why it's secret. That's what they're making you feel like it could be a black player.
Mate, do you know what's mad about all this? Look, I'll take your point on that. I've seen these accusations over the years, and these are the ones that come to mind. There's probably more. I remember what happened to Chad Evans, now been exonerated, after being convicted, exonerated now, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, someone shut me down. Johnny Evans, the exact same thing. Johnny Evans has been through this, outed again, but it was the way the media wanted to portray it was guilty until proven innocent. Cristiano Ronaldo has been through this same very thing. In recent years, we've seen
Neymar.
Neymar's was beautiful because the man, he's I saw the footage. He set a camera up. She started like attacking him, hoping he'd like not hit her back, but like grab her or whatever, so she'd get a mark to say he attacked me. But she got outed. We obviously had Hudson-Odoi in the summer. Same thing happened to him. It's just absolutely outrageous that the volume of football players that get accused of this, and I'm sure it's the same across all sports or all times. Why are they allowed to even publish this stuff until any crime has been, even if you're charged, cool. But after people don't even get charged, bruv, And it's like, why are they allowed to have their names dragged through the mud regardless? Like, regardless. It's a madness. We've got Rome is on the line with us now as well. Rome, what you saying, bro?
Bro, I'm telling you, the only reason why Mason Greenwood's name is being called is because he's black. Point blank and period. I'm going to tell you why. And I think you remember Mason Greenwood's name is in the news now because of what happened with him and when he was on England duties, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to remember, Mason Greenwood wasn't the only person that got caught. You know what I mean? Have you heard a story about Phil Foden since then?
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing.
Not a word,
but since then, Mason Greenwood was called up about being a kid, with a balloon in his mouth, taking air in his mouth, whatever the crap that story was. And they've been talking about Mason Greenwood missing training and being lethargic in training. And it's a Raheem Sterling 2.0.
Exactly.
You know what's mad? You know what's mad as well? This young lad has lost one of his good friends.
And that's
that
it.
That young Man City player that unfortunately took his life was one of his friends. And you're telling me that a young man cannot grieve, cannot mourn, and let these things affect him.
And honestly, this is the bit that sticks in my neck. Phil Foden shouldn't then be targeted because Phil Foden's being treated how I want to see Mason Greenwood treated after making a mistake. You're criticized for that mistake, and I think it was right to criticize them both for it. And then that's it. You let them get on with their lives, their young lives, and you let them move on. Mason Greenwood has not been afforded that privilege, and it needs to be called out. But how you call it out is by going for the people that are not affording him that privilege, in my opinion, if you get where I'm coming from, right? And for me, as you say, he's lost a close friend to him, which is going to be painful for him. He's a young man who's gone through huge changes in his life in the last 18 months, becoming a globally recognized star, up and down form. Man United, of course, in turmoil themselves as a football club, which creates its own pressures. What he doesn't need is, and I'm not even defending the media here. The media haven't said it's him. This is people making up lies on the internet and making it trend. But imagine how Mason's feeling at home today with everything else that's going on, everything else he's been targeted for. He now has social media abusing him over fake allegations. And if they just, it's absolute, for me, Twitter should be going around today, everyone laughing about it, joking about it, spreading the lie. That's ban them, get them out of town. Like, there's no room for this. It's such an insidious, disgusting lie. And you're absolutely right. And I stand by you and say that the only reason Mason Greenwood's name has been coming up regularly for these negative stories is because he is a very successful, very talented young black man. And in the UK, that annoys too many powerful people, and they just go for him. And it's an absolute disgrace to see this happening again before our very, very eyes. And I want to see the likes of Piers Morgan, the Gary Nevilles, the Ian Wrights, the Jamie Carragher's, the gigantic YouTube channels. I want to see this as a subject. I want to see them bring this up. I want to see them protect this man and not allow it to get to the same stages that we saw it develop under Raheem Sterling, because it's no good allowing it to get to the Raheem Sterling level and then say, oh, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Let's do something about it. Stop it. Get in there now.
Yeah, bro, it's all systematic. There's some of the things that's happening with Mason. What's going on with Mason right now is exactly what's going good for him. If you think about it, he's young, he's black, he's extremely talented, and he also plays for Manchester United. Those are the headlines that gets you clicks from all these media sources. You know what I'm saying? And if you looking at it from an American perspective, if a black guy shoots up a store, is labeled a thug, a terrorist. A white dude walks into a church and shoots it up, and he says he wants to incite race wars. He's just labeled a confused young man. You see what I'm saying? It's all systematic in way.
Mate, of course it is. And the media, like I said to people before, the media know what they're doing with this, because then what they do is they write the headlines in that exact way, because they know it's based. What they then do on top is they then pull a pin out of another grenade and throw it in and sit back and go, watch what carnage the title of my article is going to rage. I think it's so purposely done. I don't think they believe it. It's like, do you know what? This will trigger even more controversy, and that is what it's all about. And that's where the public have a responsibility to not be suckered in by it. Wake up, smell the damn coffee.
No, it's frustrating. These same journalists would then write articles about mental health in like 3-4 weeks. Like we've literally in the last 2 weeks saw a footballer take his own life. due to mental health.
I know.
And they're out here doing this foolishness. This is why I can't stand them, because they're the first people to write reports about, oh, people need to be more considerate about others, and what happened with Caroline Flack? We don't want to hear these stories. But they were the people writing reports saying what happened to Caroline Flack is a travesty, and we should look after each other, and we should be better with each other. But yet now they're here trying to drag someone through the mud for no reason. For what? Being young and bringing Gyal back to his hotel room. Like, you don't bring Gyal back to hotel rooms. Nah, I'm telling you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Look, they tried doing the same thing with AWB a few weeks ago. Not on the same level, but it was like, oh, we can make him look really bad. We can twist the story. He's got a girl pregnant, doesn't want the kid. It's like, how? Listen, man, he's a young lad. I know. I don't even need to know Aaron to know exactly what he meant when he told another young lady, like, oh, this girl I was seeing is having a baby. You're like, oh, I really ain't ready for the kid. Like, it's not really part of my plans right now. I didn't want a kid. That isn't the same as saying I'm going to leave the kid by the wayside. That's just like, it's a normal thing for a young person to say, like, who hasn't planned to have a child, that I don't want the kid. Like, it's a normal thing to say. Saying, yeah, it's not what I want. But it doesn't mean he's not going to be there for it, but they try twisting it into that. And you know, again, the stereotype, another young black man who's going to leave a woman with a baby by herself. It's like, do you get where I'm coming from? It's like, why are you trying to twist it? Why are you trying to push that stereotype here? It's an absolute madness. He said nothing wrong. And he shouldn't be seeing 3 or 4 women at once. Why not? Where's the law that's being broke? He can do what he wants. Like, he's a free man. Like, we live in a free society. If the guy wants 7 different girlfriends and he spends 7 nights a week at 7 different houses, that's cool. That's on him. Happy days, bro. I wish I had the ability to do that. I don't. Too old. I ain't got that pulling power. But do you know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to jealousy all the time, jealousy, we see people, he's got what I want. I want his money. I want his talent. I want his looks. I want this. Oh, there's a negative story. I'm going to make the guy burn. I'm going to burn him down. I'm going to, just all we care about is ruining them. Rather than looking at someone who's successful and going, you know what? Fair play to him. Fair play to him for achieving that. Maybe I can work harder and get close to that, or get something great in my life. Instead, what's easier is to chop other people's legs off, metaphorically speaking, of course. It's crazy.
And some fans do it because, people comparing to my favorite young English player, or my favorite young player at my club. So I'm going to do anything it takes to show that my player is better. I've seen people say, Saka, my young star boy Saka would never, or Cho would never, or these players would never. I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? Shut up. You know what I mean? You're not helping the situation here. Go after the pagans who are writing falsehood and let them feel the burn.
So, KJ, just going off of what you just said earlier about mental health, if we take a second to just sit back and look at what Mason Greenwood has been through for the past 2 years, he was just playing ball in the academy with his friends. And then all of a sudden he was asked to grow up and be a game winner for Manchester United. Right. So now he's playing with the senior team. He's no longer training with his friends. Right. And then all of a sudden, fast forward a year later, COVID comes in. He can't go out as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old and enjoy his life. Right. He's restricted to rules and regulations of being a professional football player. Right. He gets called up for England for the first time. He makes a mistake, gets chastised. Right. Lo and behold, all of his friends in Angel and some other guys leave the club. So he's partially losing from friends in that regard. You know, and then he lost a friend by suicide. What is this little man going through for you to just stick this on him again? What is he going through right now mentally for you to just toss this on him, apart from whatever else that he's taking care of in his own life? And these people are heartless, bro. Heartless.
110%, boys. 110% heartless cowards. Cowards, these people are. And fans on social media that help predicate this by like pushing the jokes and, as you say, they sort of tweets around, my guy would never. Do you know what? It doesn't make Saka a better football player because you try and tarnish Mason Greenwood. And it's just a shame that he's having to suffer this. But this is where football fans have got to come together. You know, in this particular instance, especially Manchester United fans, get behind him. Make sure you're protecting him. Make sure you've got his back at all times. You know, if he has a back, like these youngsters, they have bad games and people want to be on their neck. He didn't score today. It's just mad. I've got a couple of super chats to do here. First of all, first one from Mumbai Indians says, Terry, I backed Greenwood as an England fan when Rooney got injured before against Chelsea. I felt bad because of the Euros 2004. I felt I felt need a strong team. I think we needed a strong team. I hear what you're saying. I assume you're a Chelsea fan, maybe. I'm not sure who you support, but thank you. Aaron LFC here says British media is a disgrace. No club is exempt, but the Giants get it worse. No accountability when they blatantly lie. I hear you on that one. Sorry, KJ, you were going to say something, bro?
I'm seeing people in the chat say, "Oh, you can't speak on it until we know the facts." We already know the facts that Mason Greenwood didn't do it. What are you man chatting about?
The police have confirmed to the source at the Daily Mail that the person who has been arrested, because there has been a person arrested, is in their 20s. That means it cannot be Mason Greenwood. He's 19. It's like if they said the person arrested was a female, can't be Mason Greenwood. If they said the person who arrested was a white man, it can't be Mason Greenwood. Like, if they said the person arrested was 2 foot tall, it can't be Mason Greenwood. These are facts. You bellend. You proper bellend. Wow.
People saying you gotta wait. So someone's trying to say we're being anti-Me Too fan. What are you chatting about?
No, see, this is the other side. I said this earlier on. Let me reiterate this again on my platform. When these accusations come out, I say the same thing now as I've said on all the others. You don't attack the potential victim and you don't attack the potential perpetrator. You wait for the facts to come out. Because if you defend the player in this instance and go for the woman's a liar, she's this, she's that, she's the other, you're not respecting her. And if it turns out it was true, like Adam Johnson, you end up heaping even more anguish, anxiety, pressure, aggression, nastiness, and what's the word I'm looking for? Pain on top of the victim. Equally, if you just believe the victim and go all out for the football player, you can do the same thing to them when they're innocent. It's about that's why innocent until proven guilty, you sit back and you wait for the facts to come out of this matter. The reason we're talking about things in this way is we know it wasn't Mason Greenwood that did this. So this isn't about saying women are lying in this circumstance or saying that all men are guilty in this circumstance. It's about being balanced and in the middle. And you take the woman's accusation 100% seriously and you investigate to 100% within the law. But equally, you don't start dragging a man over the coals in this particular incident until you know the facts, because that's stupid. That's dumb. That's why you have a judicial system. That's why you have a court of law. That's why you go up against a jury of your peers for these things to be done. You know, these things should not be getting tried in public, in newspapers, least of all by people like the Daily Goddamn Mail. My God, how does that even need explaining to people?
It's because critical thinking is not a trait, man. It's something you can acquire, and people just don't have it. It's real simple.
You know what? Yeah, some people also this is what they want in it. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, don't give them what they want." I'm happy to. These are the subjects. I'm happy to give you what you want, fam. I'll give you the flames. I'll give you those things, and then you start crying, bro. When we give you the smoke about you being an idiot, yeah, you start being upset about, oh, but why are you triggered? Fam, this is what you wanted, blood. Don't be crying now. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, people saying you're triggered or you're rattled in these particular instances. No, it's not. That's just your response because you've been schooled. Saying, oh, salty. When people say salty to you, that means, damn, they've done me, bro. Oh, cuz you've done me. I've got no response. So I'm just going to say you're salty. That's all it comes down to. It's the response of a thick, stupid person. Simple.
You got people out there who cannot originate a thought for themselves. You know what I mean? So they go on the social medias and they see someone say something and they're like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense, without even thinking about it for 1 second to say, does this really make sense? The very first line of the article, as you've said multiple times, that's a footballer in his 20s. So you see someone mention Mason Greenwood and you can't sit back and say, wait, I thought Mason Greenwood was fucking 19. How does that make sense?
Yo,
you cannot sit back and put that thought together. It doesn't make sense at all. You're retarded.
No, you're people who like shout down Ollie saying he's crap and stuff like that. Yeah, if Ollie handles this correctly, which I predict he will because he's very good at handling these situations, we will see the best of Mason Greenwood again. I believe Ollie should be doing is making sure he's okay. He was right to call Southgate and say, yo, listen, right now ain't the time for Mason to be in the England team.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad he didn't get called up. And Ollie would handle this, I believe, correctly. And once he does, I believe Mason Greenwood can see the back of this, because but all he needs from us fans and the people around him is support. Get him
Yeah.
out the spotlight, put his arm around him, and let's move forward.
Yeah, and Ollie always did a great job a few weeks back when they were talking about. They said, "Oh, why has Mason not been involved?" He basically said he's got a little issue. I think it was a little niggling injury, and he basically said, "But I have read the lies in your newspapers today, some stories today about Mason being late for training," and he called the media out. He went, "I don't understand why you're printing that, because you have photographers outside the training ground every single day taking pictures of every single player that arrives, so you know he arrived on time every day, because your photographers are outside the stadium every day. So you're literally printing a lie that you know is a lie, because you're outside every day. You see every single player arrive, so you know Mason's been here on time." So, and when Ollie said that, you're like, the reason that didn't resonate as a story that went global is because the media just shut the story. Oh, he's absolutely done us there, and it's true. You know what I mean? It's like me doing a video in a minute saying, "Man, I haven't heard from KJ in days. KJ hasn't bothered to come on the show in days. Terry, you were just on the show with him 5 minutes ago." Oh, yeah. That's the same equivalent. That's how dumb it is. Like, "Oh, yeah, he hasn't arrived to training on time all week." What do you mean? You were here. You saw him arrive. You took a picture. Actually, I think it was a picture of Mason arriving the day before. But the same newspaper that spread the lie that he was late for training. Liars. Boys, listen, I appreciate you coming on, having your say. Let's back Mason Greenwood. Let's back these football players in terms of the lies that are printed about them on multiple occasions. In terms of this actual incident, let's sit back. Let's wait for the facts to come out, whoever the alleged victim and perpetrator is, and let's wait for the facts to come out before we condemn either side. That's the fair, sensible, and humane thing to do. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.